Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. So far we are looking at Togaf ADM phases. So today we are going to see about the phase B business architecture. Earlier we were looking at preliminary phase and architecture vision. So I have explained what is preliminary phase and what is architecture vision. So if you haven't get a chance to look at the previous videos, please go back and check all those two videos, then come back to this so it will be easier for you to have a continuation. So today we are looking at phase B business architecture. So this is the main phase in a TOGAF. So what is the purpose of business architecture is to develop the target business architecture. Consider that you have a e-commerce site and it's a legacy system and you want to convert that legacy system to your microservice architecture. So in this case, your target business architecture is your microservice architecture, and your baseline architecture is your legacy system that might be in Java previous like in servlet or something like that. So you have to describe your baseline and target business states. Then you have to support the business strategy and objectives. So your target business state is microservice architecture, and you have to consider overall what is the business capability of your organization, and they have that much fund to support the type of thing you have to check support, and you have to come up with an objective of it. So you need to identify the gap and improvement areas. So what is the gap is nothing but your baseline architecture and target architecture. What is the gap between them? So what are all the factors you need to bring in to achieve that state? So that is the identifying the gap and the improvement areas you need to consider. Then the objectives of phase B is, what is the objective? Objective here is like what the things you have to do in front to achieve the business target architecture. So first you have to understand the business process. So if you are thinking it as an e-commerce site, you have to consider all the factors like performance. Then you have to consider about the throughput in terms of festival times and big seasons. That time you will be getting a lot of throughputs, so that you have to consider. Then you have to consider about the security and other stuffs like extra like non-functional requirements, that you have to consider everything. Then you have to identify the business capability, like what is the identifying the business capability is nothing but so what the particular organization is capable of. Like if you want to convert the particular legacy system to a microservice architecture, then that time you shouldn't be uh, you should in forefront itself you have to verify whether that particular organization has the capability to do it. So in mid of the uh, changes, if the organization says that no, I'm not having fun to do it, or I'm not having the people to do it, that time you can't do anything. So you need to uh, in forefront itself you need to check what is the business capability of the particular organization. Then define the organization structure. Defining the organization structure is like, say for example, if there is a particular business requirement saying in a big application you want to change particular thing in that particular application, then you don't have to touch up all the departments, only a particular portion of that organization you have to change. So you need to find the particular organization structure, and you need to make sure that the other parts of the application are not disturbed during this transition. So all these things you have to consider. So you need to perform the gap analysis as well. So all these things you need to do it in the phase B. That is the objective of phase B. So what are the inputs? Inputs you will be getting it from the architecture vision. So what is the input you will get? So you will get the architecture vision from your phase architecture vision. Then business principles, that is also already been derived in the architecture vision. So that you will be getting in as an input here. Then the stakeholder requirements. So already in the preliminary phase, you will be talking with the stakeholders and the architecture vision. So all the stakeholders, you will be having a meeting with them, and you will be getting all your requirements, and that will also be converted to a um, technical document as well. So that you will be getting as a stakeholder requirement. Then the request for architecture work. So these are all the inputs you will be getting it from the architecture vision, that will be act as an input to phase B. So what are the key activities performed in business architecture? That is phase B. Develop baseline business architecture. So you need to understand what's your current business is, and you need to develop a baseline business architecture for the same. Then the target business architecture. So you need to develop a target business architecture. So that will be like an assumed one. So that will be like a state where you want to achieve. So that time you have to develop. So the people who are going to work, so they can see that this is the vision and this is what we are going to achieve. So that will also be developed here. So conduct the gap analysis. So you have the baseline and you have the target. So you need to perform a gap analysis and you have to commit as a document, and you have to plan accordingly, like, so this is the state and these are all the states we need to achieve. So you will be creating a timeline for it. So for every quarter we need to achieve this thing. For every quarter this. So the enterprise architect who is working here will be checking everything like in every quarter. So he will be working along with the solution architect and as well as the developers. So he will be having regular meetings with the solution architects and all the product owners. So he will be able to understand whether are going in the right direction or not. So you need to define the business roadmap. That's what I have told, like for every quarter, what you have to achieve, and to achieve that business requirement, how much timeline is needed. So everything will be performed here. Business architecture domains. So what is business architecture domains is like your organization structure and what is the function of a business and business processes, business services. So all these things you have to, as an enterprise architect, you have to understand to achieve the required uh, what do you say, that business requirement. So you have to understand all these things as an enterprise architect to achieve the target business architecture. So what are all the outputs you will be getting after the phase B? So you will be getting the baseline business architecture, then your target business architecture, your gap analysis results, and the updated architecture roadmap. This will be an output of the phase B. Then, then why business architecture matters. So if you want to align your business strategy with IT, say for example, when the stakeholder says that you want to achieve this particular thing, but he doesn't know about how to achieve. So you need to align the business requirement, which is a abstract one, with the IT oriented language. So you need to align that one. So that is where the business architecture comes into play. So the business architect people will understand the business requirement and they will convert that into an IT strategy. Your improves efficiency and clarity. So it will be like in converting that an abstract to a particular thing will give more clarity to the business requirement, and it will enable your transformation. So the enterprise architect will be aligning with the solution architects and he will explain everything like what is the business requirement and what we need to achieve. So it will enable the transformation from the from the clear abstracted document to an IT requirement. So it is the foundation for phase Z and phase D as well. So this is the end of phase B. So in the phase B, you will be doing all the business architecture stuffs and you will be getting the output. That will be given as an input to the phase C. So in the next video, we will see what is the phase C will do. Thank you.